What's going on, everybody? Out at the land today. I've been out here since about 9 o'clock this morning, and it's hot, but it's cooling off now. There's some storms southwest of me. See, I brought the truck, and didn't do a video, but I did an impromptu bed mount for my 23-0 tent because I got the 4Runner. I've been working on the 4Runner for a couple weeks. Got the lift and roof rack rails and made that box for the back, and it's just like, but I need to take chainsaws and weed eaters and all these tools up here to the land, and I can't really cram all that in the 4Runner, not without making a mess of it. I got this truck, it's 4-wheel drive, so did that. That doesn't look like much, but it took me about 4 hours to get that spot cleared to get down in there. This is the only kind of natural drive for the lot, but yeah, and I'll show you in a minute. I did accidentally bump a tree with my front bumper. Sucks. It was already dented on the passenger side. Now it's matching dent on the driver's side, but it's a little snug for that. 4Runner will fit great, but I widened out a little spot back there where I could open the tent up, and now I've got to make a decision what direction I go. This 5 acres is deeper than it is wide. It goes from that pink flag there down to those pink flags way down there. So I'm kind of on the far left side of it. And yeah, see, I use my ramps as a leveling for the truck. It's still not perfectly level, but it's a lot better. I'm not rolling off to the front of the tent. But yeah, I just got done walking the land again. It's, you know, it's only 5 acres, but it's got quite a vast variety of things. Up here, part of my drive here you cross is, I guess, a creek when it rains. So I walked that up. I still can't find my northwest corner. They just have the back line marked. I don't know which flag means the line between the property, but I walked that up, and there's some awesome sections of rock. So it kind of climbs up, and then there's a plateau in the middle of all this. So the front here slopes down to this road, and the back slopes down to kind of a ravine. And yeah, there's probably, I don't know, 300 feet in the middle that's perfectly flat. And there's some really cool landmark trees and stuff. I'm starting to learn where everything is. But yeah, I've already kind of picked out my building site for my eventual cabin. A lot of down trees. This is all rocky soil. And one thing that's been kind of puzzling me since the first time I came up here, there are all these little mounds in the ground, and I found one with a tree still sticking out of it. So when the trees blow over in this rocky soil and deteriorate away, then it leaves a little cave for something to live in, which it looks like all that lives in these is daddy longlegs. There's a massive nest, giant daddy longlegs running around everywhere. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it hadn't been a whole lot of anything. I saw this weird, it was probably a 6 or 8 inch lizard fell out of a tree and kind of acted weird and ran away. Seen some deer on the way in as usual. And other than some flies, and that's about it. But what's cool, so I'm facing right now, my lot goes west to east. And on the east side, when it slopes down into that ravine, there's a town down at the bottom of the mountain. And I can actually get phone service back there. I went back there and was just finding my corners again, and just walking it, and the phone started going off. I was like, what? All right. I actually had 4G, so that was cool. But yeah, definitely got a lot of plans, and I found some really cool rock crawling spots. Hoping tomorrow, this is Sunday, I took Monday off work, come up here and do some clearing. It didn't take me as long to get as far as I was hoping. So tomorrow I'm gonna get up with the sun and do some, hopefully some scale driving, see some of this stuff, and then head back home. You see it already had a good little dent there. A little bit of a gap difference over there. Now it's nice and snug, and womp womp. angled back. Now it's got a little dent here. I just rubbed the tree ever so slightly. That guy, I don't want to cut it down, it's too big. I just have to make it work. This one, see, I ran all up on that. I've never really driven this truck in 4 low, so this was quite an experience trying to get up in here. You can see some of the stuff I cut down. Shoveled over and cleared some of this so I could walk around the truck. This is kind of what it looked like when I got here. A lot of brush. There's my toilet. Chainsaw that needs a new blade. My shower. That was fun. And my tent, which I wish it was a little taller, but because I can't open the window all the way on the other side because the cab of the truck. But it works. That's some Pringles. My electric weed eater actually was killing it out here. I didn't even had to change battery. I brought like 6 batteries. And yeah, the 1.5 amp is still at like 3 bars of charge. Got a couple extra spare tires with me, just in case. You know, this truck's heavy, and those 10-ply tires, I don't know how they do on these rocky roads. I did go put my game camera out for the night, see if we catch anything interesting, and I'm going to leave it up here when I head home tomorrow. But I want to pull the footage off of that, see what we caught. So if you can see in there, this land just really slopes up right there. And you got this kind of creek that runs through here, where hopefully I can do some crawling down here. If not, I found some really good spots up a little ways. There's just random giant rocks sticking out of the ground, and pretty cool. One big thing before we get to the truck and checking that out, the DX5 Pro. I actually really like this thing now. It's the first real time I've gotten to crawl with it. I haven't done a thumb steer or any of that stuff yet that I talked about in the other video. But overall, it's been a good experience so far. You know, it's got the old school display, the old school rolly wheel selector. So this is the only truck I have mounted to it right now. So I just turned it on and went. Everything felt really good. Even the cheap little steering wheel feels good when it's all permanently mounted, not hanging off some little adapter gadget thing. But digging it so far. We'll keep updating that along the way as we use it in other rigs. Now onto the truck. Alright guys, so I'm back from the land in Oklahoma, and first time taking the blue Hilux out. I made a few mistakes. It was kind of on a whim. This whole trip was on a whim. I was able to get off work on Monday, which is today, so I had to run home Saturday, build a rack for the truck to carry the tent, and then I just kind of threw a bunch of stuff in the truck and headed up there. So I forgot some tools that I needed. I remembered batteries, and I just grabbed this truck because I'm like, I need to drive it. It's hard to give a good review because I left it in second gear the entire time. I was thinking, man, this thing sure is fast. I know there was something about that motor. Yeah, but it also, the 2-speed transmission, and I left it because it kept shifting with the steering, and I really don't care for the 2-speed, so I was going to just leave it in low gear, and I left it in high, and here we are. Another issue I ran into, luckily, started on here on the outside, the body got a little scraped up here on the top from some of those logs I was trying to drive under, so we'll need a little patina to touch that up, but for the most part, a couple scrapes on the hood. That's about it. Some dirt. Went pretty well. The front bumper is a bit heavy, but I think most of my issues were just due to the speed. Yeah, so I had this all the way shifted forward, which I'm guessing is high gear, low gear. Yeah. Oops. The biggest disappointment were the RC4 drive Post Malone hubs because they're falling apart. One of them, I just got out of the truck and I realized it was missing the black and pink cap, the anodized hub. And I managed to find one of them. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll glue it back on when I get home. It's in the pocket, it's in the wash right now, so I may have lost that one too. And then about 10 minutes of driving, I realized I'm missing the other one. And I backtracked everywhere. It was starting to get late last night, and no idea where it went. So my brand new hubs didn't make it one drive. I've never had those fall apart because that's the part that the teeth lock in that allow you to actually tighten and loosen it. So a little disappointed with that, but oh well. At least it was a $12 part, not a $200 part. But another thing I forgot to do, my usual thing, I've done videos on Trail Finder 2s and all their weaknesses and things. The biggest thing is to Loctite your screws on your spur gear, which I think I did. I can't see any residual on there, but I want to say I did it when I flipped the whole thing over. I'd have to go back and watch the video. And the other big thing is your bolts for your hubs on your front axle. You can see I did not Loctite those, and I lost one. Yeah, so I got to find a replacement for that. I haven't even watched the footage or edited anything yet, but one thing I noticed from actually driving it, this shackle reverse kit here on the front, where you put your shackles in the rear like the real Hilux was making a lot of tire rubbing on the fender. It was moving way back in the fender further than it would if they hinged to the front. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, yeah, I know it's more scale technically, but it doesn't work as well technically. So I don't know. No problem with the skid plate. That A&M Garage skid plate is badass, and it's starting to rust up a little bit. Look pretty cool. Still want to get some other sliders for this. These plastic ones. There's one part in the video, there's a big stick. This actually stuck in here and part of it broke off. And yeah, I don't need all that extra rail. The rear bumper didn't cause me much trouble. The Tough Armor, it's got a few scrapes on it, but it didn't catch on everything like I thought it would. This is my first time driving that terrain. I haven't, I just kind of was making it up as I went along. Got that nice little ditch with natural rocks that flowed down in the front of my property. And I think with some cleaning, my friend Dustin said I should get a leaf blower. It's like, that's genius to blow off your trails, because leaves were a problem there. It's got 40 years of pine needles and leaves just piled up on the ground about 3 inches thick everywhere. So definitely got some better plans for the next trip up there. So I got to Loctite this stuff. I don't know what to do about the hubs. That really aggravates me, because that's the part that's made to take it off, and I don't have any extra ones. I use them all of that style. Shoot. But overall, the truck did pretty good. It would have been a lot better slower. But yeah, overall it's a good learning experience, and got to play on some new terrain. Still love this truck. It's got a lot of potential. Just got to remember to Loctite my hardware. But I appreciate you guys watching. I'm kind of taking this month off. It's August. It's hot. I'm working in the heat, and yeah, just been doing a bunch of stuff around the house, and now going up to the land and doing stuff, and trying to make some progress on the other stuff while it's 100 million degrees. But I just thought this would be a fun little thing to throw in since I was going up there. And tires, I forgot to mention, the Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax. I actually really like them. They've broken in a little bit. They've softened up quite a bit. They have a firmer tread pattern, but the sidewalls are pretty soft. So it gives you a lot of bite. But everything I was experienced in the video, it actually worked really, really well on. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching and sticking with the channel while we're not really doing a whole lot here. But got a lot of good stuff in the works. I got some more real car stuff coming, but I also have lots of RC stuff planned here. See, the next project I got to get back to here is the Volks rod. Got to we're not really that far from running it, so that'll be the next video. I've got to get some new wires, solder on the motor, and put all electronics in, make some windows for it, and a little bit better body mount. We're ready to rip. And we're probably going to rip those tires up, because those are the cracked tires that had the sidewalls ripped out from me putting them on bead locks. So. But anyways, keep it scale, guys, and I will see y'all in the next video.